Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a wavy flag. This shirt has not been turned inside out. I want to make sure that I make my flag correctly. So using a washable marker, draw on your wavy line. And to make a correct flag, when looking at the shirt head on, you want your stars, your blue, to be up in the upper left-hand corner of the shirt or the top of the shirt. For this project, I'm going to use sinew. The reason for that is I want to try to keep my lines crisp. I want the blue to stay where the blue's supposed to be. I want the red to be where it's supposed to be. So you want to pull your sinew very tight. I've lost track of how many times I've wrapped the sinew around, but you want to wrap it around several times. In each pass, you want to make that sinew line a little wider. That's going to give you the best chance of having a nice, crisp, white line. So now for this top portion, that's going to be where the blue and the stars are. So I'm trying to rough up those pleats, and then I'm just going to do a simple scrunch and secure it with some of that nylon string. I really love the nylon string, and I do have a link for it down below in the description box, along with pretty much everything that I use for tie-dye. So go ahead and check it out. I got the nylon string from Amazon, and it comes in a wide variety of colors, so there's something for everybody. I'm scrunching and securing this portion very tight. Admittedly, I can be somewhat heavy-handed with the dye, and this is the best way to ensure that there will be some white left in the navy blue to simulate the stars. Now for the rest of the shirt, we're going to make the red and white stripes. So you want to pleat fold this part, and you want to continue to secure it with the sinew, wrapping it around several times, creating a nice wide line so that you have a good crisp white line. and you want to pull it really, really tight. And I think I'm making my intervals approximately about 1 inch apart. You'll see me flip the shirt over and check the back. What I'm looking for is the sinew line to be laying flat on top of itself. So as I'm tying this shirt up, I'm thinking ahead to the washout process and how each of these individual slip knots is going to be difficult to undo. So I started thinking, well, maybe if I do one continuous run of sinew, that might just make the whole thing go a lot faster right now in tying and also faster during the rinse out. And then I changed my mind. I thought, oh, I really want these white stripes to be white, and I was thinking the dye might attach itself to the sinew that's draped over the white part. So I thought better of it and decided to just continue on making these each individual pieces of sinew. So for those of you that are still with me, watching me tie this shirt up, you guys rock. Thank you so much. You guys support the channel, you leave thumbs up, you leave comments, and all of that helps the channel grow. And by growing the channel, it helps the content get out there to other people that are tie-dyers or are new to tie-dyeing and looking to learn. So thank you so much. I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate all of your support. From this overhead view, I'm noticing that my intervals are becoming smaller and smaller. I probably should have had my ruler out, but it's tie-dye. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm not doing that on purpose. When I'm standing in front of the shirt, I guess I just am not noticing that they're getting smaller, or I didn't care, one or the other, but you want to try to keep them the same. So I just want to make that clear. I am not purposely making them smaller as I'm going. So as I'm watching myself tie this up, because I'm editing the tutorial, right? My mind started to wander off, and I was thinking about, I wonder how many of you started tie-dyeing during this last year like I did, or how many of you have been longtime tie-dyers and maybe have just picked it up because of this last year. So I'm kind of curious about that. You know, what got you guys into tie-dye? So we're gonna end right here with the sinew ties. So we have the blue up at the top of the shirt, and I thought we're gonna leave it off with the red at the bottom of the shirt. In my mind, I was thinking it would have good balance that way. We made it to the fun part. Now we get to add the dye. So I'm going to start by using thick water on all of the white sections. I really want the white to stay white, so hopefully the thick water will help. If you don't have thick water, that's okay. You just want to be careful when adding your dye that you don't put it too close to the sinew line. Once I get the top side covered with the thick water, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and put the thick water on the back side. I really want the thick water to have a chance to seep into all of those fibers and get there first. That way the red dye hopefully doesn't have a chance to get in there. So when adding the strong navy, you want to give it a nice coat, but you don't want to overdo it. You want to leave a little bit of space in there for the simulation of the white stars. And you also want to not take it right up on top of that sinew line, because you want to have enough white in between the blue, then the white, and then it goes into the red. Keeping in mind that dye creeps, I'm really focusing the red on the center of the stripe because it's going to spread out on its own. And I'm really taking my time allowing it to have a chance to spread. If you need to go back and add more dye, you can. You don't want to add the dye right on top of that sinew line because it's more likely that it is going to get into the white if you do that. My table slopes a little bit. I think my floor is not even. So I put my dye towel underneath this rack to try to level it out. I'm doing everything I possibly can to help the dye stay exactly where I put it. I do not want gravity to take it anywhere else. So far, so good. The dye seems to be staying put. That blue line that you see in the white, that is from the washable marker. Because we're being so cautious with our dye, it's a good time to wipe up any little splatters or drops that you might get on your rack. You have a better chance of not cross-contaminating that white if you clean up as you go. Here's a little Easter egg. Sort of a reward for those of you that are actually watching the whole tutorial. I thickened my dye. I thickened my dye using the sodium alginate, so my thick water. I measured 1 cup of the thick water to 2 teaspoons of the dye, and I used my silicone measuring cup and immersion blender to mix it, and I have a link for both of those things down below in the description box. I highly recommend the silicone measuring cup. It is big and tall, and it's flexible, and so it's easy to fill the bottles up. I really love it, and I got it from Amazon. It's been 24 hours and now it's time for the rinse out. And you want to start by using cold water to rinse out any soda ash that might still be reacting within the shirt, and gradually increase the water up to hot and rinse until the water runs clear. Now we have these white stripes that we're trying to keep white, and right away they already look pink during the batching process, and so honestly, I'm a little disappointed and I'm freaking out. But I'm still going to focus a lot of attention in those white areas, and then just work to remove your sinew. You're going to watch me use a seam ripper, and well, I don't know if the seam ripper is the actual best idea because you really do have to be careful to not poke a hole or rip a hole in your shirt. So I don't know, the slip knot in the sinew might not be the greatest idea. It's a lot easier to use a slip knot while you're tying it up, but it really does make it a lot harder to untie it. I want to talk about the washing machine process because I did something different this time. So I normally do a hot water cycle. This time I did a hot water cycle using Synthropol. I did a second hot water cycle using Synthropol. And I did a third hot water cycle using Milsoft to bring softness back into the fabric. The reason I did that first cycle using the Synthropol was because of all of that pink and the white. Synthropol it's magic, and so it attaches to the loose dye in the water and helps keep it off the fabric, or at least that's how it was explained to me, so I highly recommend it. And then we put it in the dryer and we'll come back and we'll see our results. Well, we ended up with a little bit of red in the white after all, but that's okay because it's tie-dye. And considering how much red was in the white stripes during the rinse out, I thought for sure all was lost. But I'm telling you, Synthropol is magic. I really like the simulation of the stars in the navy blue and that scrunch part at the top. I think that looks nice. I do wish I had better saturation in the red stripes, but overall, I'm very pleased with this shirt. What do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell for future notifications. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing.